I'm Emma Curtin, host of a new true crime podcast called Murder Archives. It's set in Toorak in 1929 about the murder of Norma Reese McLeod. Search for Murder Archives where you're listening right now.
Glenn, you feeling stressed and overworked and tired?
Well, it's not surprising because apparently more people are getting stressed. They're more disengaged at work. You know why? Because everyone's on their computers and their screens and they're swiping left and they're swiping tappy tap.
So you know what you should do? Go to beyondrest.com.au. There are a series of centres around Melbourne.
To do what?
Meditation tank.
Oh, you see, you know why it's good? It's because if you want to do meditation, but you don't want to have to do meditation, it's like you're doing your natural version of it. You sit in water that's got salt in it, so you float above the water.
Yeah, wow.
And it's heated exactly to your body temperature.
Ooh.
And it's been flushed out from the person before, so don't worry about that. And you go into suspended animation, whatever that means.
Yeah, so there's Paran, Collingwood, Hawthorne East, Moonee Ponds if you're in Melbourne. Go to beyondrest.com.au. Sounds fantastic.
Money well spent. So I brought a book for you to read.
Yeah, is this it here?
Yeah.
The David Spade. I love David Spade.
Yeah, I didn't think he's interesting because he's likeable, cocky, and he's honest about himself. He's honest about the world that he's in. I mean, if you don't know who David Spade is, he's the guy who was on
Joe
SNL.
Dirt. Joe Dirt, big movie.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
Did a lot of movies, with Chris Farley, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very funny, Weasley sort of looking guy. And didn't he marry a Playboy model?
It doesn't really go into his private life in that sense. It's more his professional life, but you get the sense that he goes for the girls in that way. But what's interesting about lending people books, I know with you.
Do I give them back?
No, well, I know with you go, I've read it, so why do I want it back?
Yeah, I don't. You go.
I don't
care.
But I have a friend of mine who gives me books that I don't want to read.
Right.
And then I take them because I go, well, you're being nice to me, I'll take it. And then after a couple of weeks goes, have you read it? Because I want it back.
Just give it back.
And I go, well, I haven't read it. He goes, well, you should read it because it's all about the stuff we're talking about. You might learn something from it. You should read it. Yeah, I should read it. My girlfriend was asking if you've read the book. I haven't.
Read your book.
I haven't read your book. But with that one,
you would like this back though, because this is quite rare. I've never seen this.
You can't get it in Australia.
No,
I had to get that in, and you can't. I couldn't even get it on
your phone. I'd read.
But that's one that
you want back.
My stepdaughter's boyfriend, he is American, and he grew up in that era, so he would be not at a similar age to
David Spade.
Yeah, he'd be.
His life was, he grew up in Arizona or something like that, didn't he, David Spade? Yeah. Where his mum was a single mum.
Yeah, you know the story.
Yeah, only because I've heard him on podcasts, and his mum would do a 8-hour shift, and his mum would drop him and his brothers off in the desert 5 miles away from the nearest service station, and they would walk with their guns and just shoot stuff. With a gallon of water.
Yep. So anyway, so keep that, but I'll give you a call.
You want it back?
I'll give you a call.
Because I've got your other one too. I've got the what's his name's book?
Whoever it is. I'll give you a call. I'll just check in. Maybe
Norm Macdonald's book. I've got Norm Macdonald's book.
Did I lend you that?
Yeah. I've been enjoying that actually. I've got to find that.
Oh no, that's the one that if you are a reader of biographies, that's a very interesting book. I got to say, a bit stupid. He's written it as a biography, but it's not. It's like a bit of stand-up where he's embellished the stories. Yeah. And I really want to know the true story.
I'd rather know the true story, but it is quite funny already, that book.
So all the stories on this show...
They're all fake news. Fake news.
No, they're not. They're truthful. They're insightful.
They are truthful, you're right.
They're insightful. I reckon between what happened and what comes out of mouth, there's a little bit of...
Embellishment,
but not much.
Not much?
Hopefully you learn about us and about yourself in the journey that we take.
And give it back once you've passed it on. Give it back.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's some music. Okay, yeah. Woo!
Hello and welcome to Somehow Related, and now please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
All right, well, welcome to our podcast. Somehow Related. I'm Dave O'Neill. There's Glenn Robbins.
Sitting to your left.
To my left.
And we're in our new studio. And it doesn't feel quite as hot today, which is
good.
A pleasant surprise.
And we get two topics, and at first they don't appear to be related, but they are related.
Yeah, and who gives them to us is Sam. Sam, who is the all-knowing
virtual assistant.
Yeah, and she's with us all the time. And it feels like she's listening in, but she's not. We have to prompt her. She's probably in another room, and doing something. And
look, when I did a gig for the people that own the cloud, because I stupidly thought, I did a gig for several different companies. They weren't that interesting. They own the cloud.
Can I just ask, is the cloud somewhere?
Yeah, it's in warehouses in Wagga Wagga.
It is not. I thought it was in the US.
No. The cloud in Australia, when you upload music to iTunes or whatever, that is most likely going to a massive warehouse in rural Australia somewhere.
And this is interesting. And it's a room full of computers that are just hard drives going, we've got some guy writing about his trip to, he's got his photographs of Europe. Oh, it's a big file. Up the back, Terry.
Because, see, I thought stupidly it was an actual cloud. The guy goes, it's not a cloud. It's warehouses where we can get them really cheap. And so this gig was full of people who owned these warehouses and owned the cloud. They own the cloud, man. They own the cloud.
So that's a good plot for a movie, because the stuff that's in that cloud
could bring people down.
Because there's that whole thing at the moment where you sign up for the
health thing,
health record.
Are you going to sign up?
No.
You're going to opt out?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm signing up. You know why?
Go.
Well, I heard this story that this woman rang up I don't know where I heard it.
Yeah.
Anyway, her husband had a stroke or something like that, and then straight to the hospital, and the doctor said, has he had another procedure before? And she's like, yeah, he had another stroke. What happened with that operation? She goes, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, we've got to ring the surgeon. Who is a surgeon? This is a surgeon. Surgeon's in surgery for 4 hours. He dies. This guy dies. Why? And then the surgeon gets out and goes, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Now, if they had a health record, they could look and see all the details on there and operate on him.
I agree. I agree with that. That side of it I like. But it's the accessibility to inappropriate people. Because like if you're doing a job, or if you're doing a television, insurance companies can just go bang. Well, I'm not sure what the line is.
Yes.
That they can get in and go, because when I do a movie, I have to get a medical.
Yeah, I know.
And you're going, some dweeb who normally does insurance on a house.
I couldn't get insurance for a movie. For the Nugget. It's too fat.
So how did you do the movie?
I can't remember what happened. Something happened. They found some insurance company who'd insure me.
Because I get white
in Brazil or
get white coat blood pressure, which means my blood pressure goes up when I get into it. So I fail every time.
Yeah.
So then they're going, oh, you got a problem. I go, I haven't got a problem, but it just comes up. So,
I had a really sore knee. I had a knee operation, and I thought, I don't want to miss out on this movie, so I pretended not to limp as I walked into the medical room. Then the doctor's like going, have you got a limp of some sort? I'm like, no, just a bit sore today.
See, I'd be jotting that down for a sitcom if I had, and you have got one, so you should be jotting that down. That's funny.
All right, let's get the topics.
Yep.
Here we go.
Puffing Billy and vacuum cleaners.
Well,
I always say it. Two of my favourite things. Two of my favourite pastimes.
How many times have you been on the
Puffing Billy?
You're right, actually, too. Great vacuum cleaning. But we'll get to that. Let's
go Puffing Billy first. Well, I grew up not that far from Puffing Billy. So, I was Mitcham, and Puffing Billy it's Belgrave, isn't it? Yeah, it's Belgrave.
To Gembrook, is it?
I think it goes from Belgrave to Gembrook.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure.
And can you get on with a mic?
Mikey.
Can you tap on, tap off?
I don't think. No, you cannot. You cannot.
Because it's a different gauge.
I'll train Buddy Spotter over here. I think it is. So for people who don't know, Puffing Billy is a very famous train in Victoria. A vintage steam train, and every Victorian, and then even I've had my relatives come from overseas. My Swiss brother and his kids, and we've gone on Puffing Billy. Because when you go to Melbourne, you go, what are we going to do in Melbourne? Because Sydney's so obvious.
Yeah, you see them advertising Sydney, and they go to the harbour, Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Opera House, and then they cut to a shot of Melbourne. Come to Melbourne, there's a shot of the Puffing Billy and the zoo, and you go, come on. The Arts
Centre, the alleyways, people smoking. But I love Puffing Billy. As a kid,
can you still sit? Because
you know what? I think they stopped.
You would have to
sitting outside the carriage,
limbs hanging off, because that was.
I'm sure they stopped.
They must have stopped it.
I'm pretty sure they stopped it.
And are the carriages still as basic as they ever were?
Oh, I think so.
Right.
They wanted to do. They did comedy on the Puffing Billy train once, and you had to go and audition in front of like the fat controller and stuff to get the gig. I almost wanted to do it just to go to the audition, to drive up to Gembrook to have some fat volunteers sit there and tell me, well, I don't know, you're not that funny, like.
Yeah, next, yeah. Toot toot.
When was the last time you went?
Well, I reckon I've only been once, and I reckon it was probably when I was about 10, and I dare say it hasn't changed that much.
We actually, go on.
No, that's all. And so
That's your Puffing Billy experience.
Yeah, nothing bad happened, nothing inappropriate. I wasn't, approached by some gang while I was on there to steal the runners or anything.
How funny is this? I talk about gangs in my stand-up, and this guy said that he used to belong to the Puffing Billy posse when he was 15. Because you remember in the 70s and 80s there were gangs.
Yeah, of course.
There were, like, in Melbourne, there was the Oakley Wogs.
Yep.
There was the, what are they called? The Lebanese Tigers.
Yep. Where
I lived, there were the Ringwood Boys, the Mitcham Boys, the Blackburn Boys, the Little Houstons.
Mark Neal used to say he was the Ivanhoe boy.
Oh, really? Yeah, Eric Banner used to talk about his gang in Tullamarine was called the Smurfs. There was a gang called the Smurfs. But this guy said he belonged to the Puffing Billy posse, which is a choo. You know where we went when my kids were really little? They do a Thomas the Tank Engine day where they dress up the carriage as
that would be good.
Thomas the Tank, and they do a little show, and one of the volunteers pretends to be the fat controller.
That would be good if you're a fan.
My son loved it. I still remember distinctly. We met another family with kids in the western suburbs where we were living, and we said we're going to, because it's a big trip from the western suburbs to go to Puffing Billy for people that don't know. And we were driving along, and then my mate rang on the phone. He was in front, and he goes, "Oh, mate, it's bad news. The tunnel's closed to get to the eastern suburbs." Yep. And my son he thought he heard Puffing Billy was closed, and he had like this instant screaming reaction in the back. He would have been 3 or something. Like this when he heard the word. And we're like, geez, no, it's not Puffing Billy's not closed. The tunnel's closed to get to. Anyway, that was the last time I went, I reckon, to Puffing Billy.
So what else do we know? We know that when did it start?
Oh, I reckon 50s or 60s.
I reckon Sam.
Can we ask
Sam? I reckon Sam, Puffing Billy. I'm going to reckon it started.
I say 50. I say post-war.
I'm going to say pre-war.
I'm going to say.
I'm going to say early 1900s.
I'm going to say something for the diggers to do when they get back. I thought 1950.
Sam, what was it?
Puffing Billy started running in 1900, closed in 1954, reopened the next year, closed again in 1958, and reopened again in 1962, and is still running today.
No wonder he's puffing. Whoa!
So you were right, 1900.
Yeah.
But was it just a normal train then? Was it just a normal commuter? Probably was just a normal commuter train. Just for people to go from. Where does it run from, Sam? Does it run from? Is it? Am I right? Is it Belgrave to Emerald or
Belgrave to Emerald?
Yeah, Belgrave to Emerald.
Well done.
And they have. Well, the other thing about Puffing Billy, they have that thing where you race the train.
Oh yeah, you run.
They have like a marathon thing. Yeah. You run. Yeah, I've never been on it. I always see it in the paper.
Yeah, if you could choose between doing one of those, you'd pick the Puffing Billy.
Yeah,
wouldn't it? Jeez, I did well on that. I just sat there and I beat the guy running. How good am I?
Well, Puffing Billy. Great, it's great part
I
of Victoria.
do know one little snippet about, we can ask Sam about this, but I think there was some sort of sexual controversy.
Oh, yeah. One of the volunteers was...
you know about it?
Yeah, molesting people, yeah. It wasn't good at all. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. So
that was a famous case. That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, he was... but let's not talk about it. But
yeah, it was terrible. Brought down the... But yeah, because the thing about... One of my friends was a volunteer when he was a kid.
Right.
On Puffing Billy, because he loved trains, and he remembers that guy. He wasn't touched by him or anything, but he said he was sus on him. Yeah, because the thing is, they left them alone with kids and teenagers.
Yeah,
because it was same as scouts.
Hey, come on, you're a scout. Don't you be put the scouts down.
If you're that way inclined, you're going to become a scout leader. You're going to join the local swimming squad. You're going to become a Catholic priest. That's what happens. Unfortunately. Anyway, enough of that.
You've got it all.
I've got it all sussed out. Only because Dad was a scout leader for so long, and he goes, every time there's a bloody child molester, they always say he's a scout leader. Always. Used to drive him mad.
We might get hate mail from scout leaders and swimming coaches.
Yeah.
Listening to the show going, hang on a second.
Well, you know what? Imagine being a Catholic priest and being a good Catholic priest, and people just immediately just go, oh, you're some kind of, look at you. You know, when you could have been serving the church for years and doing good work, but
Yeah.
people still just look at you and go, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
A car salesman is a car salesman.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's...
that was controversial, but I don't reckon that's somehow related. Vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners.
Mm.
Why
Was
do you
I-
like vacuuming so much?
I don't like it.
I love it.
Do you?
My back doesn't love it, but I like it. I'll tell you why I like it. Because you get a rewarding noise.
Oh.
Like when you vacuum let's say you vacuum the boot of the car,
Yeah.
you go, you go, oh, I am getting some work done here. I am, how you going? I am killing it.
But see, at home when I'm vacuuming, I just think that's bits of Lego. I'm like, oh. And then occasionally, my partner says, I'm sure that my jewellery went up the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Can you have a look in the bag? And I've cut the bag open
Yeah.
and gone through it.
Let me ask you this. Would you, if you're going really well, would you stop for a 5-cent piece?
I feel bad. I feel bad sucking up 5-cent pieces because I look at the work that's gone into
Makes
it.
a satisfying noise.
Yeah, I know.
Really good noise. And if you're in a frenzy of cleaning and down in the corner, up behind, let's say behind the cupboard,
Yeah.
and you're reaching in behind the cupboard, going, oh, I'm nailing this.
And you hear that.
You hear a you go, oh, there's a 5-cent. Oh, even a 20-cent piece, you wouldn't go back in for a 20, would you?
No, probably not.
no.
But do you? I mean, we've had a cleaner for a while now, and she always just goes, the vacuum cleaner's blocked, and so then it's always my job to unblock it. And vacuum cleaners, there's a lot of places where things get jammed.
A lot of nooks and crannies.
Yeah, you've got to take the pipes off and then just look down them, and then it's working it out. You know,
Do
pipe
you
by
give it a bit
pipe.
of didgeridoo while it's off? My dad used to get the
Oh, did he?
He put the cord around his neck, or the pipe around his neck, and then pretend he was the Lord Mayor, and declare it a public holiday. We didn't kind of get it when we were young. We go, okay, what's he doing? I'm the Lord Mayor, and today is officially a holiday.
Man.
But we've got one of those ones that are in the garage, and there are holes in the wall.
Oh, you're one of them.
Yeah, so you just carry a tube around with you, and you go, "Thop."
My partner worked at in a shop when I met her in the 80s and 90s, and the manager of the shop's husband was a guy trying to sell them into Australia from America.
Wow.
And there's a word for him, isn't there? Like vac room or vac suck or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
it is cool. Vac something. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I said, how are the sales going? He goes, oh man, it's hard to break into the Australian market. People are just so into
They're so into that.
They're so into the Hoover, hoovering. But it's a great system, man. And then he'd go into it and try and sell you
Well, my partner wants to buy the old, pull around. Ahead of it, she goes, "Oh, it's not sucking hard enough." I'm going, "It's sucking fine."
I reckon that conversation has been had so many times with husbands and wives about it's not sucking hard. We need a harder sucker. We've had my wife
Ugly Dave Gray just walked in and said, "Tell me about it."
We need. I've had that conversation too. Oh, then it's I think it's broken. It's not sucking hard enough.
Yeah, and it's like,
We have to get a new one. It's broken. Oh, how was it broken?
yeah, was Prince Charles coming? What's with the carpet?
Do you remember Mum used to have the carpet cleaner though, which was not.
I've still got a carpet cleaner.
You got a carpet cleaner?
Yeah, where you do just spinning brushes and it goes,
Yeah.
got one. Because we've got lino downstairs, high quality lino, not your cheap,
I've got a bit of lino in my house. I'm not anti-lino.
Yeah, but wander around and just you can go bang, 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 and it's like a computer game. You go, I'm going, and I can see that bit of dirt up there. You just go around, and you're just
And you
hitting
empty
things.
it via the top, don't you? Is it right?
It's a double flap on the bottom.
That's it.
And
I used to love emptying that when I was a kid.
Where would you empty it? In the bin? Or would you
Straight
go,
in the bin.
I put it out in the garden. I don't know why.
I think Mum used to do that. Well, there we
Right.
go. I think
No,
we've
I'll tell you
covered
what.
off vacuuming.
I'll tell you something else though. A friend of mine, and have you seen these? He has, and there might be something
Not
in
the
this.
Dyson.
I think it is
Yeah.
through water.
Oh, I've seen the ads.
How does it work?
It sucks stuff in through water.
Does the air get and it purifies the air that goes back out? There's something about it being sucked.
I don't
through
know,
water.
but
It bubbles through the water.
Yeah, I've seen the ad. But remember when Dysons came in? They were what you'd call an interrupter. They were like they just blew up the whole vacuum.
Yeah.
People at Godfrey's wouldn't have known what was coming.
Yeah, they sideswiped. They just opened up the whole vacuum cleaner world.
Remember the Godfrey's ad? Someone used to do stand up. Pretty sure it was Paul College used to do stand up about when the guy used to pick up the bowling ball with the Godfrey's vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what Paul Collegiate, who's a funny comic, used to say. Yeah, because everyone's got bowling balls lying around the house behind the couch. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's have some...
what should we have?
It's thinking music.
Because I reckon I've got something.
A bit of train music? No?
Train music.
What about the Godfrey's vacuum cleaner ad?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, let's find the Godfrey's vacuum
because
cleaner
they usually
ad.
high sell. It was all voiceover, and it was and they usually do something like they throw something down on the carpet, and go, "Watch this."
Do you remember Call for Carpet Call, the experts in the trade? What a great one that was. I wonder if that was just Victorian.
Why can you remember that? But why can't we remember what we did this morning?
For Carpet Call, the experts in the trade. Let's go. Let's have some thinking music and go to Godfrey's.
How would you like a housekeeper? Godfrey's have a beauty for you from Black & Decker. This cleaner's so easy to use and suction. It's got enough to pick up the 16-pound bowling ball. Easy cleaning features include an accessory compartment, variable suction control and triple air filter. Godfrey's price a red-hot $139, less Godfrey's super trade-in. Make cleaning easier with the proven power of Black & Decker now at Godfrey's.
That's fantastic. How cheap was a vacuum cleaner, though,
And
back in the...
triple. How many nozzle things did it have? Quite a few.
1990? Was it 1990? Yeah, 1990. Wow. And it's the same guy doing the Godfrey ad that he does, like, in 2000s.
Yep, he's got that market cornered. $139. That would be... Would that be what they are now? Probably wouldn't be far.
No.
Really?
We bought one. We bought, like, again, my wife, she researched it extensively. We got a Miele, I think, Miele. If we're talking browns, and I'm pretty sure it was $400.
Because my mum got a Miele, and that was...
Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. Well, maybe you're pronouncing it right.
I think you're saying it right. Yeah, and how much was that? 400? Like a little one?
My brother organised it because my brother's in that industry. So, yeah, I imagine it was XE.
His washing machines, do they also cover vacuum cleaners?
But he talks to the people at Miele.
Oh, exactly.
Because I've got a Miele washing machine and a Miele dryer.
So I've always,
the older model, not the new. You've got the assembled in the country that they're made, as opposed to assembled in somewhere else in the world.
I always wonder. I've met your brother once. I did ask him what is a good washing machine because we've got an Asco.
And what did he say?
He said, "Yeah, Asco's pretty good."
Oh, that's good to know. You're getting it from the surgeon.
Yeah, well, if he fixes them, he'd see all. He'd go, "Oh, I'm not fixing one of them again."
Yeah.
All right. So, do we have a
We'll have to get him in because he could tell some stories about things that have happened inside
washing machines,
houses, not inside washing machines.
I found some coins. One day I found a paperclip.
Yep, and a peg.
And I could tell you about how I fixed my washing machine because we kept blocking, and then the plumber said, "I'll show you how to do it, and you can just do it."
Really?
So I feel like a washing machine mechanic. Yeah. I unblocked the washing machine.
Anyway, that's right.
It's a little pipe that gets stuffed up with lint and a kid's button, and then you're stuffed. Anyway, I don't even have a connection. I think you should go first.
Well, I have a vague connection, which I think the guy, I'm going to say the guy who was driving the engine, because the Puffing Billy would be a steam engine.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yes. Somehow there's bubbling water. Somehow there's some sort of steam cleaning scenario. I'm making a big leap here. There's a big leap. But he's worked out that if you ran your vacuum cleaner through water, as they do with trains, big leap, you'll have an effective... Anyway, the guy who drove the trains invented the water vacuum cleaner, okay?
All right, there we go.
Get the guy from Godfrey's on the phone, and I reckon...
$139. I'll just say I think the first vacuum cleaner was steam-powered. Like Puffin Billy. I don't know. Should we get the answer?
How would that...
Well, I don't know how it would happen. I don't know. Oh, let's just get the answer.
You have a big engine in the house somewhere.
Well, maybe it was like your one. They had a whole garage.
Yeah.
They had a whole garage. You've seen those steam tractors. You know those steam tractors they used to have in the old days?
Yep. Oh, look, both fair. But I think we're on the right track. I don't think we're right.
Okay, what is the answer, Sam?
The first ever vacuum cleaner was called Puffing Billy. It was created by English engineer Hubert Cecil Booth in 1901. It was powered by an internal combustion engine. Booth's motorised vacuum cleaner was used to clean the carpets of Westminster Abbey prior to Edward VII's coronation in 1901.
There you go. So they stole that
hang on,
name.
you reckon that they've gone, what's a good name for a train?
Yeah.
And someone said, I've got a vacuum cleaner called Puffing Billy.
Yeah. Because I think it was around the turn of the century when vacuum cleaners were invented.
Well, Puffing Billy...
Was 1900.
1900.
Vacuum cleaners. So, yeah, some guys just had a look in his house and gone, Oh, you know. What else would you have back in those days? Calvinator fridge. Model T Ford. Nah. Puffing Billy. I like it. Puffing Billy.
I wonder who Billy is.
I don't know. But
Billy must have had something to do with a vacuum cleaner.
good old Puffin Billy. Maybe it's a name that we just associate it so much with this train that we're not aware that it's a slang thing or something.
Puffin.
Maybe it's rude.
Puffin Billy.
Maybe it's a rude thing that we don't even know about.
Puffin infers worn out, doesn't it? Oh no, puffin infers trainers puffing up the...
Maybe it's a term from the war, the Navy.
Puffin Billy.
Get us a Puffin Billy, mate. All right, Sarge.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
There you go.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
We've all learned something. We've had a journey.
I had a very satisfying day because I went to the clean my car the other day, and I cleaned the whole car and did the vacuum as well. You know, where you do it yourself, not where you go and sit down and have a latte.
Man from India does it for you. Yeah.
You can't say that.
Well, they are. They do. Well, I'm only speaking my experience in Melbourne, but they are primarily from the subcontinent.
Fair enough. And then I got home and went, oh, look at that little line between the seat and the door. You can never get your nozzle down there.
No.
Went home, had a nozzle that fitted on my vacuum cleaner, and because I had the long tube, I could take it out the front door into the driveway.
Gee.
Took me 20 seconds to do it, but that was...
Satisfying?
Take the rest of the day off. And as people get into the car, did you notice?
They look very clean.
It's down there. And a couple of nooks and crannies in the back. Did you notice?
You could run a car wash. You should have Glenn Robbins, Russell Coyte's car wash. We always came up with ideas. Remember when we were in Darwin?
Yeah, it was a bikini car wash.
Bikini car wash. Russell's bikini car wash.
Russell's bikini... Well, you know, if Russell was on hard times, perhaps we'd do something like that. I think it's got to be sexually balanced, though. I think you need guys in
G-strings these days.
I think that's fair.
But in Darwin, they didn't care.
No.
Because it's Darwin.
We did drive around the block, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Well, we just wanted to see...
We couldn't believe it.
I was in shock. And we just wanted to see if they were following health and safety requirements.
Yeah, yeah.
And look, we did get our rent-a-car washed. We didn't have to.
The third time was a bit stupid because I thought it was clean enough. Yeah.
Funny. Hey, Somehow Related is supported by SuperSimpleCards.com, Glenn.
Great cards.
Great cards. You get a pack of greeting cards from Super Simple Cards using the offer code SOMEHOW at the checkout, SuperSimpleCards.com. Get into it.
Get them in a pack.